So you're in for a huge treat. I just finished a massive interview with Unknown Worlds, and little did I know, they had way bigger plans for all of you watching. We've got world first reveals, Subnautica 2 gameplay, teasers, and so much more. I don't want to wait anymore. Let's jump into it. All right, I've got a very special one for you guys. I'm joined by Scott and Danya for an exclusive interview and even previews of Subnautica 2. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us, Anthomnia.
Yeah, we're always happy to chat to you.
Now, first things first. Guys, how does it feel to be #1 wishlisted on Steam?
It's great. We've been working on Subnautica 2 for such a long time, and it's just one of those things where it just shows the power of exploration and the amount of players that really, really love the game still.
Yeah, it feels a little unbelievable sometimes when you just log on to Steam and you see Subnautica 2 right at the top of the list. But I know how hard the team, the entire dev team has been working on this, and it just feels really nice to see that it's being at least rewarded a little bit by seeing it at the top of the wish lists.
So not only are you #1 on the Steam wish lists right now, but a little birdie told me that U2's is doing pretty good too, and you guys might be setting some records.
Yeah, it's been great seeing the reception for it, especially with how closely we worked with the team over at U2's to make everything come to life, and having seen them now in person as well, because they sent us samples. I love them. I can't wait until they start shipping in December now and everyone else can get their hands on them, because I think they're great.
Well, I bought 3 of each, and I'm not going to be regretting the purchase, obviously. Shameless plug, you guys. There's a link down in the description if you want to check out the U2 stuff. It's going to be a limited time thing, so you better pick it up while you can. And I guess now we'll move into goodies. Alrighty then, Scott, otherwise known as Obraxis Prime. What do you have for us?
So we've got a world premiere tease of a Subnautica 2 audio drama we've been working on. We also have a world first look at one of the new Leviathans in the game. We have a new tool that we're going to show off called the resonator, and then we'll tease you a little bit about biomods too.
Oh yeah, and also there was this. We have a new devlog coming for Subnautica 2, and this one's all about the tadpole vehicle. It's got a bunch of interviews with the devs that worked on it and some goodies. If it's anything like the last one, there could be some leaks. Keep an eye out for it. Okay, this is wonderful. I don't even know how you have the time to do all of this, because you guys were just on a big thing with Subnautica Mobile where you brought the game into the phone. I think that was on sale, and that ends on Friday, which technically today, I think?
Yes, kind of ends today, Friday the 7th of November 2025. But yeah, we were so super excited that the game is on mobile. You can see by the reviews on there that it runs fantastic, and we couldn't be happy with the reception it's got. We just won an award as well at the Gaming on Phone Awards, and we got the Indie Mobile Game of the Year as well, which was great to see. So we're very thankful for that.
If you want to see Scott's really fun acceptance speech, you can go on our social media, because I retweeted it over on there.
All right, so at the very start of the Take a Deep Breath reveal trailer,
you will sleep through 14 years of flight to your new home on Zazura.
We're told that we will sleep through 14 years of flight until we get to our new home on Zazura, I think it is. Did we make it there, or did we crash somewhere before our destination like I'm thinking we did?
So honestly, that's actually part of the beginning of Subnautica 2. So kind of not going to give away the start until you actually get to play it, but if you watch the visuals and also listen a little bit to the upcoming Voices from Beyond audio drama series that we're doing, you'll kind of get an idea of where the story is set and what kind of happens to you before you get to the beginning of Subnautica 2. So there's some really cool little tidbits in all of the stuff that we're going to be doing leading up to Early Access 1, essentially.
So would you like to take a look and a listen at our world premiere tease of our audio drama called Voices from Beyond?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Alrighty, let's do that right now.
These unexpected findings have led to a sharp drop in the public company's stock after their insistence that Zazura would be ideal for their Pioneer program.
Pioneer program. What a clever way to rebrand what we all know they're doing. colonizing. The Transgov Altera once claimed the Mongolian independent states were crazy for settling in the Ariadne arm of the galaxy. But after this utter failure, it seems that the crazy ones are actually...
So that was the world premiere, and that was absolutely nuts. I love the voice acting in that. I'm loving the artwork too. I do have questions because, guys, like, this is gonna go from audio series to like a cartoon, then a movie. Like, just you mark my words. You guys mark my words. Maybe even mark it on a calendar. I'm thinking this is where this is gonna go if this is successful, which is gonna be successful. But either way, I heard a lot of stuff in that coming from the Mongolian Empire, I believe, to the Ariadne arm or whatever you call it. What do you call it?
Ariadne arm of the galaxy.
Yes, and that's the same part of the galaxy where 4546b is and the Aurora was, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I think I'm pretty sure
it's where a lot of the it's where a lot of the lore takes place in the Subnautica universe.
So then this is realistically, are we talking like, because this is going to be giving us hints into Subnautica 2 and the lore of the game, you know, what's happened prior to us getting to the planet for Subnautica 2?
Yeah. So you'll follow a story in multiple episodes. I'm not going to give away how many episodes, but you'll follow a story throughout these episodes where you will learn a lot about the background of how Subnautica 2 starts, why it starts the way it does, and if you pay attention to the visuals, you'll get a huge amount of Easter eggs. Now, the visuals that you saw in that preview are actually not the full visuals. We've actually cropped it in a little bit because there's some Easter eggs and spoilers in some of those areas that we want to save a little bit for the actual premiere. But if you take a look at the image right now, you'll see that there's a good old Subnautica 1 radio in there that we're using as a storytelling device. So the Subnautica radio was so beloved in the first game and second games that in Below Zero that we thought we had to bring it back to tell one more story, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
So I was looking after that. I noticed that too, and I'm kind of curious why it's taken apart. Maybe just some repairs, or it doesn't mean anything, or it could be they're not allowed to be broadcasting like this. I have no idea, but you know, my first impression was like, well, is this Altera in some kind of like a corporate setting where they have like a camp set up and they're doing stuff? But no, because this looks too residential, and I see a baby bottle there, temperature of baby formula or milk or something. I'm assuming that's what that is and not some alien thing going on. But I'm also noticing that book, Surviving the Impossible, with the Altera logo, and I'm kind of curious, is this something Riley might have written and it became like a popular thing for him to pay off his debt? Because I know he was in some pretty serious debt when he left the planet, right?
And not the insignificant amount of debt.
I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. I think it would be cool if that's a throwback to that.
I think you're going to have to listen to the whole series and kind of make a determination. I will say, we've put some Easter eggs in a lot of these images, and so when you see them, look in as many different places as you can, and I think you'll get a kick out of it.
So many things I'm thinking of right now, and I don't know if any of it's correct, but my brain's like on fire now.
It certainly matters to the story of Subnautica 2, because when you listen to these episodes, it will take you all the way through to the very beginning of Subnautica 2. So we're telling a nice bit of backstory. So whilst you don't need to know this story to play Subnautica 2, this just like embellishes the beginning of the game. So if you listen and watch these images and the audio drama, I think you'll get a lot out of it, a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I think Bond, who are the creative house who helped produce this, and Chris Brown of Voxpoint LLC, who directed the audio and the actors, and our friends at Power Up Audio, who actually compiled all the audio together, just did an absolutely fantastic job.
So you piqued my interest, and I'm really, really curious. When can I see this? When I want to see more, I want to see all of it now. But when can we see this, and where would we go to watch the rest of this?
Yeah, so the first episode is coming very soon. We don't have an exact date, but if you follow our YouTube channel and hit the little subscription bell, you'll be first to know when it launches. We're also going to launch it on all our other social channels like TikTok, Instagram, and places like that. So if you're subscribed to us on any of those platforms or follow us there, you will see and hear this cinematograph audio drama first. So you may notice that here we have a boom sap. If I charge up my resonator, my sonic resonator, I can remove that. Gain access to a supply crate, and also help our friend the water slug. Hope you enjoyed a quick look at the sonic resonator.
Will there be a void in Subnautica 2 that's similar to the current void that we have in Subnautica 1, where it's basically an endless body of ocean where further terrible life forms could exist?
Yeah, so the void's a very interesting thing because, first of all, we do have long-term plans for the void, right? Because in Subnautica 1 especially, it was super interesting to have large areas that didn't seem to have a lot of stuff in there. But what we've been doing a lot of, and people who are in the Subnautica Discord have been asking Anthony, game designer, about, is that what does that actually mean, the void? What does it have in? Because you don't want nothing in the void, but you do want some things in the void, like mysteries and stuff. So what we've done is we kind of listened to a lot of what the community think they want from that, and we've also been looking at a bunch of the mods that are out there that involve the void, and we're trying to do our best with taking the fantasy of the void and just not making it a ecological dead zone. So it's not just for like this one thing or one creature or nothingness. We're trying to make it a little bit more intriguing and kind of really delivering on players' fantasies by the end of it.
So since we're on the topic of the void, I'm really curious, and I'm sure everyone else is too, will anything be protecting the void to keep players from leaving the bounds of the map, like a terrible Leviathan or just an event that prevents you from going out too far?
Oh, we will have something out there, and we've kind of given a glimpse of it if you were paying attention in the last devlog. But I think we might want to see it in a bit more detail. Are you good with me sharing my screen?
Yeah, yes.
Take a look at this.
And I know this thing. I saw this. I think it was in your last release with the Collector Leviathan when you guys were doing the breakdown of it.
Yep, exactly. So this is what is going to be on the edge of the world in Early Access 1. Its name is the Void Leviathan. And as you can see, it is scary as hell.
Oh, wow.
It has a lot of like almost translucent bone structure, very mean, very nasty. It does not like you. You do not want to be near it. Yeah, and this is one of the close to final designs that we had that you may have spotted in the previous devlog, but we moved on just a little bit. So if I just go to our latest version here, so this is slightly upgraded, so it's a little bit more definition in the concept art now, but you'll notice there's a few smaller ones around it. So we're kind of right now experimenting with the idea of juveniles to go along with the adult, to have some size definition and differentiation. So this one is the final concept art design for this. And we really wanted to get across notes of like the old Ghost Leviathan, whilst also making it a lot more unique, because the Ghost Leviathan is so universally terrifying people everywhere, and we really wanted something to kind of be similar to that in some ways, but also have some unique new features as well. So familiar but different. And so yeah, you can see a lot of the skeletal parts and stuff. Or, I think it's terrifying, especially for this time of year near Halloween, So yeah, I think it'll be terrifying.
And you can kind of see, even with the juvenile, like if you look at the little speck of diver, like right there.
Oh yeah.
For, like the size difference between like a juvenile and like the actual adult version. Even the juvenile is pretty sizable. Let's just say that.
See, I'm pretty familiar with the size of Leviathans in Subnautica 1, and I mean, to me, this feels like it's already bigger than the majority of everything that is in Subnautica 1. Like, the Ghost Leviathan has nothing on this.
This is going to be pretty big. I can't give you an exact size comparison, but it's definitely on the huger side.
So the prior image on the left was a previous concept, and the one we're looking at now with the juveniles, that is the final concept of what you're going with. This is exactly how it's going to look, or
yes,
you plan to make changes?
And if I put them side by side, you can see some of the differences from the earlier design, where it had like a little bit more elongated tail on this wing here, whereas in the end, we decided to just go full skeletal, with like almost like the ribs and stuff kind of flowing off. It just brings it more together as a cohesive design, but also is still terrifying. And you also know like some of the facial patterns are slightly different, just makes it look even more menacing as well. Like all the sharp points are pointing forward towards its mouth. Everything's pointing forward as if it's coming to attack you. So yeah, it's a great design.
So I am really curious. Will all the Leviathans, every one of them, get like an AI system similar to the Collector Leviathan? Like the Collector, they went into the AI stuff and like how advanced it was, and like this thing's basically conscious. So like you can make it do so many different things and interact with the environment, and just it's gonna do things to hunt you in different ways. Is that gonna be the same for say this as well, or like any other Leviathan?
I think we're gonna start off with having it be kind of mostly trying to keep the player without going too far out of the map, right? Because we still have a lot more of the map to kind of design. So in the beginning, it will have relatively simple AI just to achieve those goals. But over time, we can definitely improve the AI and use more of the behavior trees that we showed off that the Collector Leviathan is currently utilizing. So yeah, we will be expanding all of the creatures and Leviathans AI depending on the needs of the gameplay.
So moving away from the Leviathan, which that's actually awesome to know that there's going to be a dedicated Leviathan already out there, because I think the Ghost Leviathan was added pretty late game as a special request that you guys actually gave the community, which is pretty badass, I think, because I'm not surprised, though. You guys do listen to the community. But I did want to ask as well another one about the Void, and I'm just curious, is there going to be an invisible wall that surrounds the map, or are you going to give players freedom to go as far or as deep in the map as they want, even if it goes outside of what you intend to provide?
So, our first early access release is going to have a wall, but players are going to be able to go past it to sort of a degree. This is mostly, by the way, to prevent players from like setting up bases or building a bunch of stuff in basically places that we're probably going to have to bulldoze later. So we don't want people constantly losing progress and stuff they've been building and spending a lot of time on. But in creative mode, we're kind of happy for players to do their own thing, like swim out into like really early development areas and do their own thing. But in survival mode, you'll be able to cross those boundaries, but it will have some consequences for your safety. So it's almost like the same thing as in the first Subnautica, is like, are you certain whatever you're about to do is worth it kind of vibe.
Okay. All right. So in every crevice of Subnautica, you're going to find lore and just insane stories from things that you wouldn't expect it from. So for example, the gargantuan skull in the Lost River. People scan that and realize, hey, this is a massive creature in the logs, and it's within the lore. Like, the lore is this thing is really old, and it was probably the planet's main apex predator. Are you guys planning on having more stuff like that, like lore-rich bones, skeletons, or like items that are planted in the world where we can go up, scan it, and we get like some PD log of like, hey, this thing seems like it's 10 million years old and it was like 2 kilometers long, or the apex predator of the time derived from insert species here?
Yeah, so with the original Subnautica games like SN1 and Below Zero, we told a lot of story with various set pieces. Some of that was like biological based, and some of that was technological based. So some bases, you would go down and find like abandoned bases and things like that. And we're still going to have things like that, so you'll be able to progress the story and find out more about the world by having those things out there. As for biological stuff, I don't want to give too much away, but you will have to use your scanner quite a lot to find out more about the world, especially the biology, which will then help you out throughout the game. I think maybe more so in Subnautica 2, by scanning and understanding things, you'll be able to use the knowledge in much different ways. I'm trying not to give away too much because we want to give some surprises down the line, but I think if you're paying attention to your PDA, you'll learn much more about the world.
That's great, because like people that play Subnautica, a lot of the time with this community, they theory craft and they love to like try and get to the bottom of things, and scanning stuff and getting lore to build off of. Like, for example, again, the Lost River giant skull, that basically got willed by the community into the biggest and one of the most popular, if not the most popular creature in the history of Subnautica modding, the Gargantuan Leviathan. So I'm wondering what people are going to will into existence with this, you know?
We fully expect people to come up with some great creature designs, or maybe we put some kind of architectural thing in the game and people take that and run with it, and then we end up having to do something with that. Fully expect something like that to happen once we get into early access, because there's so much in Subnautica 2 that people haven't seen yet, that once they do, I think it'll just spark their imagination. We're already seeing that on our Nult page, where we're poring over it on a weekly basis, just seeing the creativity of the community, what's coming out of it is so great, and we can't wait until we're in early access and we can start like looking over and seeing what ideas we can turn into reality. Something
that like we kind of internalize a little bit at the studio is that the world in itself is its own character. You know, it tells a story through what's in it, whether that's something small or big, and I'm just really excited for people to just explore a brand new planet. You know, it's going to have a lot of like new things that players haven't seen before from the Subnautica games, and I think it's just really exciting to just think about how they're gonna like look at it and react to it and run with it. But basically the entire world is its own character, and it's just really, I'm just really excited to for when this finally gets into players' hands.
So here we are in Subnautica 2, and I'm just going to pull up my PDA, and you can notice we have a couple new things in here. We have a couple of biomods. So we have pulse control, and we have dash. With pulse control, it reduces your oxygen consumption when not moving. And then with dash, you can move quickly at a large distance in any direction to avoid incoming predators or escape. It's really, really fun. So I'll just jump out of here now. And you'll notice with dash, I can just like dash around. You can't abuse it, but it's really helpful. I think those are really cool. I can't wait for you all to play around with them.
Alrighty, so next up on the list, do bases in Subnautica 2 have the option to have some form of AI assistant or companion? And I'm asking because I saw on the Take a Deep Breath reveal, I think it's like a minute into it, there's a diver swimming by this like old abandoned base, and there's this little small spear inside that like it lifts itself up a bit and starts looking at the diver, beeping at the diver, spins around and tracks the movement of it. It seems like it's actually intelligent, and it's on top of some kind of console or something. Is that an AI companion? Is there some hint at maybe our bases are intelligent?
It's kind of one of those funny things where it's like, do you really think Altera would view a human as being the best intelligence to lead a project?
Oh.
You know, like even in the time that we're in right now, you kind of have assistants to answer basic questions for us. So it kind of makes sense that we're like sort of starting to think and introduce something that the player might have something similar, but like when it comes down to it, whose interest it cares about is kind of an open question.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm liking where that's going. So moving on down, and I'm really curious about this one. In Subnautica 2, are you guys gonna stick with that perfect mix of open exploration and like a tight story for the first game, where you can kind of just do whatever you want and loosely follow the story, but then it tightens up and like you get to a point where a big thing happens, or you know it's a very dramatic, hopeless moments, and you know it gives you that awe and almost desperation like feeling, or you know will co-op shake things up in a way that you know it makes it forced into a more linear path? Like, can your friends, for instance, you know, if they want to blow through the story and you don't want to, can they force you to progress? Or if you're unwilling, you know, can you go at your own pace?
Right. So I think in the early days we did think, because this is a massive problem. How do you tell a open world story which has both open world and linear nature to it, but with co-op? We managed to nail it with Subnautica 1, we think, and we did a really great job in Below Zero. But what we decided to do was well, in the early days we thought about things like, oh, do you have to do like a tether to keep players together, to make sure that they're doing this, that, and the other. And I think eventually we decided to just lean into, this is a Subnautica game. This is a Subnautica game through and through. It just happens to have co-op in it. So you can play this game single player. You can play this game with your friends. We're trying to balance the game so that every single player can do absolutely whatever they want, wherever they want in the game. They don't have to be within a certain distance. They can just go off and do their own thing. If you want to play together and try and go through the story together, you can. If you want to just go AWOL while your friends all do the story, that's also something you can do as well. But we were building a Subnautica game, kind of as if you're playing Subnautica 1, but with a lot more new elements. The biggest being co-op. So we're not making it as a co-op first game. We're making it a Subnautica game, just happens to have co-op in it.
So with a brand new game, there's a brand new planet. Obviously, we're not on 4546b anymore. And on that new planet, and it's already been shown in trailers, there's ruins everywhere. There's an ancient civilization to some degree that existed, and there's no doubting that. But it was also leaked that the ruins are called the Axum Ruins. In one of the devlogs, I actually saw it in one of the asset lists. I don't know if it was intentionally there or if it was accidentally left in.
How did that get there?
Hey, it's out in the wild now. I don't know if it was supposed to be or not, but I am really curious, and I'm sure everyone else is too. Where did the people go? Where did the people of Axum go? Are they alien? Are they human? Are they tied to the precursors, the architects? Is it a previous human settlement that failed to settle, or is it something fresh and terrifying? Did something terrible happen to the whatever people of Axum?
Well, you've come up with a lot of good ideas there, and some of them may be true, some of them may not be true. I think we're not going to talk a great deal about this because we're getting into serious spoiler territory, and we want everyone to enjoy the story and the sense of discovery. But yes, you have in fact seen some potential ruins on the planet. You have in fact seen some things in devlogs, and I think if you start putting them all together, you'll have an idea of where we're going with this. Now, in terms of precursors, we're not really making a game about the precursors. Doesn't mean to say that they don't have some kind of thing in the game of some kind, whether that's in story form or not story form. But we're not gonna forget where the games come from. And I think once you get to play through the story, you'll start to see just how big the story that Seth has created for this game and how well it ties in to Subnautica 1 and Below Zero and the Natural Selection games too.
So I get the feeling that the whole Axum Ruins thing, because of how big it is in the story itself and how little can be said about it, I gotta ask right now, but like, was that an accidental leak? Like, did that just somehow slip through the cracks? Are you allowed to say, or?
Some leaks are accidental and some are on purpose. I think I'll leave that for people to decide which they are.
It's accidental. I know it's accidental. I see you shaking in your chair right now. That's accidental. You know it. I know it. Danya knows it. Everyone else knows it now too.
I'm not going to say that I haven't accidentally leaked something in a devlog. I'm not going to say I've purposely leaked something. But let's just say that some things have managed to get out there.
So the entire time we exist in Subnautica, we're also dealing with a thing called the Corabacterium. And the Corabacterium is with us wherever we go. We're infected. It kind of gives us a set number of days to our life, if you will. And I'm really curious, is there anything in Subnautica 2 that applies a pressure like that that's consistently on your shoulders the entire time? So when you think about it, Subnautica 2, and Natural Selection are all in the same universe. So I think it's entirely possible that Subnautica 2's world, this bacterium, depending on the timeline, could have left the planet and spread. I know in Natural Selection 2, I think the bacterium is a more advanced version of the Corabacterium than what we experience as Riley, I think. So when it goes to Subnautica 2, are you guys planning to bring that old rival back? Or what's the exact plan with that? Is there maybe a blight, something that we have to try and deal with that's bigger than, you know, like a Leviathan, for instance?
I think like Scott touched on this a little bit, which is like, I think the key thing about Subnautica 2, and this is where like Scott said it as well, like that Seth has done an incredible job of like connecting up all of our games in a really impressive way. But like, I think the key thing is that we are not forgetting any of the previous games. You know, the Corral won't directly feature, but you are going to have like some significant like biological issues to deal with through the game and the story. And specifically, if you're a fan of the Natural Selection series, you're not going to be left behind. I would highly recommend, if you are a Natural Selection fan who came into Subnautica, or are a Subnautica fan who played Natural Selection after Subnautica, definitely make sure that you listen to our Voices from Beyond audio drama series that we have produced, because there's some very interesting things that crop up in that connect everything together in a very satisfying way.
All right, moving into the final question. It's going to be a big one, just like a Leviathan. But how many Leviathans do you think you're going to have for the initial early access build? And how many do you think the game's going to have once it's complete?
You're not pulling any punches, are you? You're trying to get everything out of us. So I think we can confirm there's at least 2 Leviathans in Early Access 1. You can probably anticipate there'll be more than that in Early Access 1, but there's at least 2, probably more. I'm not going to give you an exact number of how many are in Early Access 1, but if you want to have an idea of when we look at other stuff, what can they do, Tom?
Probably stick around and follow our social channels. We're pretty much Subnautica everywhere on X or Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, our official Discord. I think we're on like Threads and Bluesky now as well. Like, that's all us anyway, so if we're ever going to sneak you any information, it'll be myself and Scott on any and all of those channels. We are always the ones running all of our social stuff, so we'll keep you up to date with literally everything with development on all of those channels.
And as for how many are in the final game, we don't know yet. It's up to the fans. If they want more than we give them, then we'll make more. If they want a particular type that we've never heard about before or thought about, maybe we'll make that. So the great thing is, you guys, when you join us on the early access journey, you get to help kind of figure out where we go with the game. You can do that on all of our social channels, as Don mentioned, and our Nolt as well. If you just type Subnautica to Nolt in Google, you'll find that there.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, Danya. I appreciate you guys took time to come up here and have an interview and talk about the game, give people some information about what's happening. I'm going to link every single social that you should follow for Unknown Worlds and Subnautica 2 down in the description. Go give them a follow, support them, love them, and that's pretty well it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.